Maya hummed softly as she pulled a fresh dress from the closet, the evening air warm against her skin. She had the house to herself, at least, that's what she thought. The faint sound of a door opening downstairs barely registered as she unzipped her blouse. Daniel wasn't supposed to be home yet, but habits were hard to break. "Daniel," she called out casually, her voice carrying through the quiet house. There was no response, just the soft creak of floorboards. Assuming he hadn't heard her, she continued undressing, reaching for the dress on the bed. Then footsteps. Closer this time. Before she could react, the door opened. She gasped, clutching the dress to her chest. Standing frozen in the doorway was Ryan. His face paled instantly, eyes widening in shock. "Oh, God, I'm sorry," he stammered, immediately turning away. Maya's heart pounded as she fumbled to cover herself. "Ryan, what are you doing here?" He kept his back turned, hands up as if surrendering. I didn't know you were home. Dad said you were out." Maya inhaled sharply, trying to steady her breath. The situation was ridiculous, absurdly awkward. She slipped into the dress quickly, pulling it over her shoulders. "You can turn around now." Slowly, hesitantly he did. His expression was still mortified, but there was something else, something unreadable in his eyes. Maya crossed her arms, still reeling. "I thought you weren't coming until tomorrow." He rubbed the back of his neck, looking anywhere but at her. "Change of plans. My flight got moved up. Dad said I should just let myself in." A strange tension settled between them. They had known each other for years, but Ryan had always been more of a distant presence in her life. He had spent most of his time away at college, visiting only occasionally. Maya sighed, trying to shake off the lingering discomfort. "Well, I guess welcome home." He gave a small, sheepish smile. "Not exactly the way I wanted to say hello." A dry laugh escaped her lips. "Yeah, no kidding." They stood there for a moment, neither quite knowing what to say. The air in the room felt heavier than it should have. Maya finally broke the silence. "Your dad's not home yet, but you probably figured that out." Ryan nodded. "Yeah, I was just going to drop my stuff off." "I didn't mean to," he gestured vaguely, his face still a little red. Maya shook her head, forcing a small smile. "Let's just forget about it." He nodded quickly, relief flashing across his face. "Right. Yeah. Totally." She watched as he stepped back toward the door, hesitating for just a fraction of a second before slipping out. The door clicked shut behind him, leaving Maya standing there, her breath still unsteady. It was just an accident. A harmless mistake. So, why did her skin still tingle where his eyes had lingered? Maya tried to shake off the lingering unease, but the moment replayed in her mind long after Ryan had left the room. It was nothing, she told herself. Just an awkward mistake. Yet, when she went downstairs, she found herself hyper-aware of his presence. Ryan sat on the couch, scrolling through his phone, pretending as if nothing had happened. She hesitated in the doorway before clearing her throat. He looked up immediately, his expression guarded. "Dinner?" she asked casually, trying to smooth over the tension. He nodded. "Yeah, sure." She moved toward the kitchen, focusing on mundane tasks, chopping vegetables, setting the table, anything to keep her hands busy. Ryan leaned against the counter, watching her. "So, how's school?" she asked, desperate for normal conversation. He shrugged. "It's all right. Same stuff, different semester." The easy small talk felt forced. She could feel his eyes on her, but every time she glanced at him, he looked away. Maya turned toward the stove, stirring the pasta. "Your dad's been busy lately." Ryan scoffed. "That's not new." She paused, glancing at him. His tone was bitter, laced with something deeper. "You two okay?" she asked cautiously. Ryan exhaled, running a hand through his hair. "He's just distant. More than usual." Maya pursed her lips. It wasn't a surprise. Daniel's absences had become more frequent, his excuses thinner. She had noticed it long before Ryan did. "I'm sure he's just..." She stopped herself. The words felt hollow. Ryan gave her a knowing look. "You don't have to defend him." Maya forced a small smile. Old habits. Silence stretched between them. Ryan shifted, crossing his arms. You ever feel like he doesn't really care? The question caught her off guard. She hesitated before answering. Sometimes. Ryan studied her for a moment. You deserve better. His words were quiet but firm, and they sent an unexpected shiver down her spine. She looked at him, really looked at him. The boy she had once known was gone. He wasn't a kid anymore. She turned back to the stove, gripping the spoon a little tighter. It is what it is, she murmured. Ryan didn't reply, but she could feel his presence behind her, closer than before. The air felt charged, a tension neither of them had acknowledged, but both had noticed. She forced herself to breathe, to focus on the task in front of her. This was just a conversation. But deep down, something told her it was more than that.